Welcome to Vegas Hockey Hub Shorts here on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. I'm your host, Ian Rakelli, and on this episode, we are going to be continuing with our preview shows that we're doing throughout the playoffs. This is going to be Game 2 between the Minnesota Wild and the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, first game, Vegas Golden Knights were at T-Mobile Arena. It was action-packed. There was some good stuff that happened in the offensive zone, defensive zone. I liked the aggressiveness that we saw in that game. Minnesota is a very aggressive team, physical team out there in Minnesota. They also have some very skilled players out there with Kaprizov, with Boldy, with Faber. I mean, this is a Minnesota Wild organization that the way they play the game and how they're going to set up the zones and how they set up their defense, this is going to be an interesting series between your Vegas Golden Knights and the Minnesota Wild. And more importantly, the way Minnesota plays their game, their style, versus the way the Vegas Golden Knights have their style of play is very different. And I kind of like seeing that, seeing the different styles that both teams do play. Now, what's going to be the key in Game 2 is defense. Defense. Now, unlike Game 1, where I focused entirely on the goaltending, how I thought there was going to be a battle between Hill and Gustafsson, and Adin Hill did end up winning that battle, this Game 2 is really going to be focusing on, can the defense take pressure off the goaltender? Can the defense find a way to make clutch moments for either Vegas or Minnesota in this game? So while we're doing this preview of Game 2 between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Minnesota Wild, your key of the game is going to be in the defensive zone, and it's going to be how the defense in Vegas counteracts the offense that Minnesota showed in Game 1. So this is going to be a real fun game. Now, I understand with it being an 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central Time game, I know there's going to be some very tired people after this game is eventually over. And I also do want to mention that our recap show that we do for Vegas Hockey Hub, where at the end of every single game, we do our recap. We do about a 15, 20-minute recap of every single game. Now, since this starts at 8 p.m., we are not going to know what time the game does end. It could be midnight. It could be 11:30. But what I will tell you is that we will be in the studio here on PR Connections Radio, and we will record that recap show after the game ends. So regardless of what time that is, turn your notifications on for PR Connections Radio, and you should get that notification about us doing the recap for Game 2. For reference, Game 1 was at 11 p.m. when we filmed our recap show, so I would be expecting about midnight, but just for a ballpark figure. So for Game 2, this preview between Minnesota and Vegas, the key of this game is going to be defense, and it's going to be crucial to see in the defensive zone which team is able to make the most impact and are able to kind of counterbalance the opposing team's offense in the key moments that both those teams are going to have. So overall, watching this Game 2 is going to kick off in just a little bit, but it is going to be a fun episode to talk about and everything like that. Now, for the people who are down there at T-Mobile Arena, have a great time tonight. It's going to be a Game 2. It's going to be playoffs for round 1, but this is still going to be playoff hockey nonetheless. We're seeing throughout the league, Dallas and Colorado. That's kind of been a fun series to watch. The nail-biter of LA and Edmonton. That was an insane ending to that game. So this is a Game 2 preview. I'm your host, Ian Rakelli. And just remember, defense. That is who's going to end up winning Game 2 tonight. And we'll see which team has the better defense for Game 2. This is Vegas Hockey Hub. I'm your host, Ian Rakelli. And until next time, go Knights, go.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.